when you start to think about some of the product debuts and what we do at Olympics and how some of our most significant products have been turned into pop culture moments. But this isn't about where we've been in the past, it's where we're going.
The Olympics and Oakley is synonymous in sport because Oakley is a leader in performance eyewear, whereas the Olympic Games is the biggest platform.
And that's our moment to shine.
It's just a piece of eyewear, but to us it represents hundreds of hours of work.
I wanted to think out of the box and being unorthodox.
If you remove the logo, how do you know it's Oakley? That's something that we always think about.
This goes all the way back to 2000 and over the top. Those stand out as undeniably Oakley.
Which was absolutely insane to think that it's going to go all that way back. But the first big moment was in 2000 when Addo Bolden wore something that was the stroke of master genius in exposure.
You have to run fast if you wear that. Somebody might be chasing you.
He got all the headlines.
It's on someone's face, and you can't cut away from that. We have this product that's really on camera all the time. So we started this idea about how do we create a color theme for the athletes at the Olympics that they'll all show up in something together and they feel like they're part of this idea of Oakley versus just wearing the product because they have to compete with it. So at Sochi, we came up with this heritage green colorway that told our story.
The Caleb Schifrin wins gold.
And so every one of the Olympics, we started to think about what's the colorway that's going to unify our Oakley athletes. Actually looking back at all these things too, and you forget where we started from with the Sochi one, and it was just one solid color, and then you look at how it evolved to bringing in the fade here with the white. As we progress forward, we started to bring pattern and other things into it.
You know, as we go through the evolution, 2018 in Pyeongchang, you know, there was some political unrest in the area and things, but you mentioned harmony.
So I had this idea about like yin and yang and this idea about the 50-50 split coming together. And how do you do that in a way that creates something interesting and yet is so simple?
This is the time to get it done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 87-16 into the gold medal.
And man, just seeing the athletes line up, no matter what their national uniform was, it popped. And as we talk about colors and bringing in more color and creating this idea about countries coming together and Olympics taking place in Tokyo, it seemed like a no-brainer to partner with someone like Maguru. You know, Kokoro means heart, mind, and spirit. You know, that idea about the spirit of sport and people coming together.
It was hard kind of transcending his artistry that he has. So I worked with the engineering team to see if they can come up with kind of like a machine that would be able to disperse the paint in a way that translates well with his artwork.
You know, the biggest thing is how every year do we bring this together to make it come into one color story that's going to make all these athletes feel like they're part of something Oakley. To have our product in this unifying color is so much more compelling than any other piece of equipment you could wear on your body.
So Oakley's evolution at the Olympic Games continues. Now it's getting exciting.
You know, these athletes who are going through this journey to get to the Olympics, it's that inner spark where you go, I'm going to go do this because I'm committed to it. But then you start to think about neurons and color and an electric synapse happening. That's where that spark happens, and that's where the inspiration came from Inner Spark.
So I wanted to start with kind of thinking about a graphic to tell a cohesive story. So the first thing I thought about was the nervous system, which controls what we do, what we feel, and what we say.
We kind of knew that this wasn't a time for subtlety at all, so we really wanted to focus on the high-vis color.
Reminds me of Blades and Mumbo and M-Frame when it came out.
Totally, and I think part of the fun is to dip into our history and to our heritage and bring it into the future with the new styles.
You know, if we're talking about the Olympics where all these countries are coming together around the globe, we can't just put together a U.S. point of view. So we have to partner with a lot of different teams around the world to bring that to life.
We made the campaign about the athletes themselves and really what drives them. We interviewed them and got those true stories from them.
What's inside of each of the athletes.
And then we overlaid that with this X-ray effect that showed that inner spark.
It's candid, it's real, it's raw, but it's Oakley and it's badass at the same time. So that's how we put everything together in one visual.
It's super inspiring because we start to think about Paris 2024, the world's biggest stage for performance, and really to bring to life what the brand means and all of its DNA.